In 2019, the city of Santa Ana celebrated its 150th anniversary. The Heritage Museum of Orange County honored the celebration by having a mural painted. This mural would represent the history and culture that has helped make Santa Ana the city it is today. This work of art, titled Siempre Santa Ana, depicts the people and places, nature and culture, past and present, that had a major impact on the city's growth. The mural was painted on an outer wall of Godinez High School, facing southward toward Harvard Street, where the Heritage Museum is located. It spans 19 feet tall and 83 feet wide. It was painted by local artists Moises Camacho and Abraham Moya, with the assistance of various high school students from Godinez High School, Segerstrom High School, and Valley High School. The artists used very vibrant colors to help illustrate the rich and colorful history of Santa Ana. Part of that history begins with the city's indigenous ancestors, the Gabrielino Tongva people, who are represented by the Native American male and female depicted on the bottom left of the mural. The native village of Santa Ana is known as the Pas Benga, meaning southwest of Santa Ana. The hut behind the Tongva natives is a traditional home called a key, also sometimes referred to as a keys. Along the upper part of the mural, we see portraits of some of the most influential people that Santa Ana has had. Starting on the far left, we have Gaspar de Portola, who was a Spanish military officer who led the first expedition of what is now Orange County in 1769. Names like Santa Ana, Ortega Highway, Trabuco Canyon, Portola Springs, and Portola Hills stem from this journey. He was the first governor of Upper California and the founder of Monterey and San Diego. Next to Gaspar de Portola, we have William Henry Spurgeon, who founded the city of Santa Ana in 1869 and was its first mayor. Spurgeon, along with Ward Bradford, purchased 74.25 acres of land from Jacob Ross. This land was formerly part of Rancho Santiago de Santa Ana, which was the home of the Yorbas and the Peraltas, two of California's oldest families. Spurgeon donated land to build Old Orange County Courthouse, the first public library, and the train depot. Continuing to the right of Spurgeon, we have Zenobia Yorba, who is a Mexican landowner and the heir to the Rancho Santiago de Santa Ana, which was composed of about 62,000 acres. She was the last female in her family to have owned property under both Mexican and American law, and part of the land she owned was sold to William H. Spurgeon. Continuing after Zenobia Yorba, we have Virginia Guzman, who was a key figure in the Mendez versus Westminster case. Guzman, along with her husband and 4 other concerned parents, protested the segregation of Mexican-origin children in public schools. But when their pleas were ignored, the parents filed a lawsuit against Santa Ana Unified School District and won. This win successfully desegregated schools in California. After Virginia Guzman, we have Adeline Walker, who was the founder of the Santa Ana Historical Preservation Society. She was also the daughter of the famous photographer Ed Cochems. Her main concern was to protect the city's historical structures from being demolished. One of the most unique aspects about the city of Santa Ana is the many historical buildings around the city. She saved the Dr. Howe Waffle House from being demolished to make space for a parking lot. Next to Adeline Walker, we have Harriet Tyler, who helped preserve and document the history of African Americans living in Orange County. Tyler was a charter member of the NAACP's Orange County sector and was a founding member of the Interested Citizens Group of Santa Ana, which later became the Interested Citizens Group of Orange County. She helped provide scholarships to underprivileged youths in Orange County, and she established senior programs. Next to Harriet Tyler, we have Reverend Norman Corbin, who was a civil rights activist and leader within the African American community. He was active in de-escalating racial issues between black youth and law enforcement and tensions between the black and Latino communities. He was well respected in the community, and the Corbin Center at Jerome Park is named after Reverend Norman Corbin. Just above Reverend Corbin, we have Iskander Alex Michael O'Day, who was a Palestinian American civil rights advocate and a poet. He was the regional West Coast director of the American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee. O'Day was described as a man who fought for peace due to his advocacy for interfaith unity between the Jewish, Muslim, and Christian communities in Southern California. Along the bottom part of the mural, we have Sergeant Earl King, who is a Santa Ana resident and part of its National Guard. His unit, Company L, were deployed to France during World War I. Sergeant King's presence on the mural shows the involvement of Santa Ana during the Great War. Seen here, walking through the brush, we have Charles Edward Parker, who was the president of the Orange County Title Company, the predecessor of today's First American Title Insurance Company. The company issued title paperwork on sale of real estate. Today, First American is a Fortune 100 company. Right towards the end, we have Emigdio Vasquez, who is known as the godfather of Chicano art. His murals represented the life and experience of the Chicano community. He painted over 30 murals in Orange County, many of which can still be viewed. His legacy is continued by his son Higgy and daughter Rosemary, who are also very talented artists. Throughout the mural, you can see a lot of the natural part of Santa Ana, including the Santa Ana Mountains, the Santa Ana River, and the wildlife that was very abundant during the early times of the city. At the center of the mural, you can see the many historical buildings that are still standing today in Santa Ana. Some of these buildings include the old Orange County Courthouse and the City Hall. Siempre Santa Ana is the cultivation of the rich and colorful history of our great city. The artists included the people, places, and natural history that have influenced the city's growth. If you would like to take a glimpse into the city's past, come down to the Heritage Museum of Orange County and check it out in person.